Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Xplic right here with you guys with the first part of What If Yuji Itadori Was Sub-Zero. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this. If you did, or if you do, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that jazz. Remember, leave a comment if you want to, whether you want to talk, make a, I don't know, suggestion or anything, or just critique. Don't really mind. It's just cool to see that you people comment on this stuff. And if you want to see the videos as soon as they come out and get notified of them, hit the notification bell. That would be pretty cool as well. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Just remember, God is awesome, you guys are too, and let's just get straight into this epic what if. Let's go! 2 men stand on a small cliff face as they're standing there panting and breathing hard as they're looking down at a disintegrating curse. This curse being a quite high level, a first grade to possibly even a special grade curse, disappearing as these two men have just defeated it. But this happening, they start to walk away. One of them starting to speak to the other, asking him how his son is. The other one explaining that his son is good, that his eldest son, Bihan, is nearly 8 years old at this point, and he has the kind of clan's special technique, which is very powerful, and explaining that he's about to have another son as well, and he's looking forward to going back to see him. Before they can react, however, the first man asking the question's head is taken from his body, the other one turning around to ready to attack, but he is cleaved straight in half straight afterwards before their bodies start to burn, incinerating, leaving nothing but ash. If we move over to another side of the area of Japan, we arrive at a large mountain, the mountain of Mount Fuji. That made no sense, but we arrive to Mount Fuji, with there being a large village being on the side of it, a strange village, this village being the home to the Lin clan, known to the world as a centuries old religious group and kind of religious clan. However, unbeknownst to them, it is really one of the 4 big sorcerer families. Inside of one of the rooms or one of the buildings is an 8-year-old boy as he stands outside of the room, hearing some screaming inside of another room behind him. As he's sitting there or standing there not really sure what to do, a few minutes pass as the screaming subsides. A person then opens up the door behind him, sliding it open, explaining that he can then come in. The boy walking in, seeing a woman holding a baby. This baby having black and pink spiky kind of hair. As he goes and stands next to the woman at the bed, they starting to talk. Her explaining to her older son Bihan Itadori that the baby she is holding is his younger brother, who they have named Yuji Itadori. Them being quite happy about this as they kind of get ready for the future ahead of them. Until days later, Yuji and Yuji's mother and Bihan are told that Yuji and Bihan's father has died, assumingly to a special grade, since it was also another high member of the clan. As this is stated, it is then stated that in a few years, Bihan will become the head of the Lin Kuei clan. Now 14 years later, we then arrive to a strange area. It seems to be a training area of some sort, as a blast of ice smashes against a wall, with Yuji Itadori in a blue garbed ninja-like uniform with the mask you see in the kind of in front of you or on the thumbnail, and the other boy that he's attacking is in a grey like ninja uniform. The boy in grey bursting into smoke as Yuji prepares to attack him. However, as Yuji tries to attack him, Yuji is then grabbed by the leg by smoke. He can't even see what it is. It's not even a hand, it's just he's being gripped by thin air, or the smoke that is surrounding him, as he's sent flying into a wall. As this happens, Yuji shoots a gigantic ice blast at the boy. The smoke enveloping the ice blast and the ice shards that travel towards him, and it starts melting, the ice turning into water before it can reach him. As this happens, Yuji then jumps up, going in and doing a 3-hit combo, going in for a kick to the knee, and then a punch to the side of his opponent, and then a left roundhouse kick across his head, before then using a ice attack to blast him into the sky. As this happens, Yuji then falls into the ground, him turning to ice using Tombstone Teleport, as he calls this out. As he calls out Tombstone Teleport, he falls back, him completely disappearing before the other boy feels a hand grabbing onto his head as he's thrown into the ground, with Yuji in front of him going in for another ice attack, blasting him, but the boy disappears, turning completely into smoke, as he then uses a few attacks, trying to use different kind of abilities, using kind of ability he likes to call Shake, where he stands and tries to stand in place in any of the ice attacks that attack him or try to touch him will be instantly counter-attacked, and he'll be able to deflect and counter-attack against his aggressor. As this is happening, Yuji tries to send his ice attacks towards the boy. However, the other boy uses his Shake ability and ends up counter-attacking him, using a smoke blast to blast Yuji into the wall, before then Yuji gets a kick straight across the side of his head, sending him flying. But as this happens, the boy looks down to his foot, seeing that it is covered in ice. But with this happening, he doesn't really notice that Yuji is gone, before he feels a grip against his leg, as he sees Yuji behind him, as Yuji throws him onto the ground and jumps onto him, pinning him to the ground, forming an ice dagger and summoning it, putting an ice dagger to the boy's neck. After this, the boy concedes, with Yuji standing up and helping him up. That was definitely a good surprise attack, Yuji. It definitely was, Smoke. Well, it seems I still can't beat you. Oh well. The boy named Smoke starts to kind of hold himself in pain while curling over, realizing that he definitely cannot beat Yuji yet. With this happening, Yuji then kind of takes him over as they go and chill out for a bit, as they've just trained for quite a few hours. Now at this point I'm just going to explain their abilities, because it's going to be a lot easier and you guys will probably not be as confused. So Yuji's abilities, as I said, he's pretty much Sub-Zero. So his ability is actually a hereditary ability from the Lin Kuei clan, it being kind of like what the Limitless technique, the blood manipulation technique, and the 10 shadows techniques are to the other clans. pretty much the best technique that the clans have to offer. This technique being cryomancy. This rare ability passed down through the Lin Kuei clan is now inherited by both Yuji Itadori and his older brother Bihan Itadori. Them being kind of having a father who he had a similar ability, however it wasn't as strong as cryomancy. However, he was strong enough to be the clan head, and as it states, Bihan, having the cryomancy ability, is automatically put in turn to be the next clan head once his father died, which happened when he was 8. So once Bihan is old enough, he shall become clan head, with Yuji and anyone having the cryomancy ability having the innate ability to control ice in many different forms. His ability to freeze things comes from the process of pretty much him absorbing the air around him and storing it before releasing it as a cold substance, or simply just lowering the temperature of the surrounding air to create ice constructs. His ability to freeze is strong enough to turn the body's water content, flesh, bone, and pretty much anything inside the body into brittle ice, brittle ice, with pretty much a single tap of his fingers, him being able to lower temperatures up to -500 degrees Celsius, which is, just a second if I search it up, -868 degrees Fahrenheit. So I assume that is quite cold. Me living in New Zealand, we deal with Celsius, and I've never encountered -500 degrees Celsius, so I would assume it's quite cold. Would assume that. But yeah, so pretty much he's able to freeze things up to -500 degrees Celsius, which obviously is far below zero, as he is also completely unaffected by any forms of ice. Any ice attacks or any other ice techniques that are used against him simply won't work, as anyone with a cryomancy ability cannot hurt another cryomancer unless using physical brute strength attacks. He is able to control the ice in a multitude of different ways, having the ability to instantly conjure up an ice statue of himself who act as both a scapegoat and kind of a landmine of sorts, as anyone who touches it instantly flash freezes, with them not being able to move until he breaks them out. Most of the time from attacking them, pretty much getting a free hit, as he has got the ability to create many different kinds of ice constructs for offense and defense, these being swords, shields, axes, knives, gigantic barriers of ice. And yeah, he's pretty good. He's kind of like, if you guys have seen Fairy Tail, yeah, he's kind of got that ice ability, but like better in every way. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So with Smoke's ability, his innate technique is Typhomancy, or smoke manipulation, which he has full control over smoke and vapor. He is able to not only utilize his smoke as an extensive weapon, but he's also able to morph his entire body into a cloud of vapor or smoke for short periods of times, allowing him to move swiftly around his opponents, as well as escape from enemies or potential captors, or just completely suffocate them, because smoke, you can't breathe in smoke, you'll die if you breathe it in. So yeah, his smoke is also able to emit extreme levels of heat. Him being able to teleport and use other abilities like that, pretty much being able to fully manipulate any forms of smoke, turn into smoke, etc, etc. Yeah, so that's pretty much that, with that kind of explanation and all the explanations, and we'll just get straight back into the story. After they've done training, Yuji and Smoke start to walk back to their respective houses until they hear something behind them, them turning around to see that the clan leader, Yuji Itadori, has returned. Him being one of 5, or one of 4 now, since one of them died, in quotation marks. One of them died, him being a special grade sorcerer. So he's pretty strong. But yeah, him walking back as they greet him into the temple, welcoming back the head of the Lin Kuei. Yuji and Bihan definitely getting along. However, Yuji still being him, kind of having the same-ish personality as before, but still being a little bit colder since he's Sub-Zero and he's badass. But yeah, so them getting along, having great times in the Great Hall, and welcoming back their star sorcerer in the Lin Kuei. 1 year later, Yuji Itadori is walking around in the dark, it being quite late at night, him walking around the city, walking to a certain destination, him finally arriving to a parking lot. Yuji pretty much wears, if you're looking at the screen, he wears what he's wearing right now, except he has black and pink hair instead of the black hair, and has blue eyes. Him having an unbuttoned Jujutsu high jacket over the top as well. Kind of like what Todo wears. If you're listening to this as a, I guess, podcast, or just listening to it and not actually watching it, if you've seen the Sub-Zero Revenant outfit, he's got that. Except, yeah, more kind of Jujutsu sorcerer-like, but still kind of like that. But yeah, so back into the story. Yuji starts walking back, or walks into the parking lot, seeing some ruckus happening across the side. Him walking there, seeing that there's a small little cursed spirit. Him being quite confused, since this was supposed to be a first grade cursed spirit, and it was causing a ruckus and stopping anyone from actually parking here, as any of the cars that park here are destroyed. Which he thinks is kind of confused, as he can't see any other curse around, but he guesses this is it. Maybe it's just a tiny little aggressive one. So he sees it getting up, walking up to it, ready to exercise it quickly. But as this happens, the thing starts to morph as another thing pops out. Another curse, one looking the exact same as it. Him being a bit confused until they both do the same, and then more and more and more, pretty much being like a bacteria, except curses. So as he does this, before he knows it, there are hundreds of these things around him, or in front of him, as they then start to kind of get sucked in, starting to fuse into one gigantic curse. This being the first grade curse, he assumes, as he gets ready, it throwing down its gigantic fist, him dodging it quickly and using Tombstone Teleport, teleporting around and using multiple different attacks, blasting a giant ice blast towards it and slamming into it, before then creating a gigantic ice nugget above it and throwing the ice chunk down, hitting it across the head, before then jumping up to it and kicking it across the face multiple times, before then roundhousing, kicking it in across the face, sending it pushing it back. Before this then happens, he then uses a strange ability called Cold Blanket, him freezing the ground around him in a circular domain. The curse ready to slam down its fist, it's slamming it down towards Yuji. However, Yuji moves to the side as the fist touches the ice, as its entire fist, arm, and right up to its shoulder, even covering some of its head, gets completely covered in ice. As Yuji punches it, the arm shatters. As Yuji then uses Sharp Carpet, him raising ice spikes from the ground, as they're quite large ice spikes. So as he does this, he then jumps up, kicking the curse backwards as it stands on the spikes, unable to move as they're serrated, so they're kind of like an arrowhead, so you can't really pull it out. So as this happens, Yuji then starts using multiple other abilities, using Ice Clone and slamming the Ice Clones, grabbing the Ice Clones and throwing it into the curse, smashing it away, before then using multiple different frost weapons, creating a gigantic frost hammer and slamming it across the face, before finally using Tombstone Teleport one final time, before then teleporting behind the curse, grabbing it by the head and freezing it solid, freezing the entire thing, before then hitting it on the head, kind of like a little tap, as the entire thing shatters, him falling down and landing gracefully, defeating the curse pretty easily. He was kind of just playing around, trying to sort out different moves. As he walks away, he heads back to the train station where he hears that Megumi and Smoke were supposed to be at very, very soon. So they were supposed to just get one of Sukuna's fingers or something like that. But, oh well, maybe they're a bit late. However, unbeknownst to him, kilometers away, Megumi watches as people are about to get eaten by a gigantic curse. This curse being covered in eyes and hands, it pretty much just being what it is, as these two students, a girl and a guy, are about to get eaten by this curse. These school students, with one of the students, the girl, having one of Sukuna's fingers in her pocket as it's about to fall into the curse's mouth, and the curse is about to eat it. However, before Fushiguro can really think of what to do, Smoke starts to surround the curse, surrounding the curse as it catches fire, igniting and burning away. It's being incinerated. The other students pretty much getting ready to fall, or starting to fall, before they're then caught by the smoke with Sukuna's finger as well. A figure then walking out from the shadows. Fushiguro, what are you doing, man? This is supposed to be way easier for you. You're a second grade, aren't you? Or at least a semi-second grade. But, oh well, this should be way easier for you. But, anyway, I'm here. Should be pretty good. And, yeah, anyway, is this what we're looking for? Sukuna's finger? Yeah, that's it. Anyway. Shut up, Smoke. I know you could have done this a lot easier. You're a lot more talented than I am, but... No, I'm not more talented than you. I just have more confidence in myself. But anyway, we should probably get going. Yeah, I think Gojo-sensei said to meet up at the train station. I think Itadori is supposed to be there as well. Yeah, I think so. But, oh well. Maybe we can go grab a snack to eat before we get there. Before Megumi can really say another thing, or reply to this suggestion, he then senses something above him as both him and Smoke kind of launch back, Megumi pushing Smoke away with a curse smashing through the roof and hitting Fushiguro, slamming him into the wall. As this happens, Smoke prepares to use a curse, or kind of use one of his smoke attacks on the curse, but the curse grabs him by the face and slams him against the wall before then throwing him down the hall. The other kids being launched back as well. With this happening, Smoke tries to summon or smoke and catch the kids before they get hurt, as he catches them and puts them against a wall, kind of protecting them. As this happens, Fushiguro then kind of gets a bit done dirty, really, as the curse turns to him. As Fushiguro prepares to try and use an attack, tries to summon one of his Shikigami, him not even knowing which one to use, but he just tries to summon one of them. But as this happens, he then gets grabbed and slammed through the wall, landing onto the roof. As this happens, Fushiguro tries to stand up, trying to summon one of his Nues, trying to summon his Nue, but he can't. His mind's all fuzzy. He's thinking like, why is my mind so like, oh, what's going on? As Smoke then jumps out using multiple different attacks. As he jumps up, he uses suffocation, surrounding the smoke target in smoke and trying to suffocate it. As this happens, he tries to just suffocate it, but it won't work. Him then trying to burn it, but it's too strong. He tries to do anything, but it just won't work, as the kind of thing, the curse, just grabs Smoke and slams him away. As this happens, one of the finger that was in Smoke's pocket flies out, with the curse grabbing onto it and eating it. Both of the students being completely mortified at what they are seeing, as the curse morphs and changes into a special grade curse. As this happens, it smashes Smoke away, sending him flying back into the guard railing behind him. With this happening, he then looks at Megumi before, like, Megumi's kind of just sitting there not really sure what to do, him realizing that both of them might die. With this happening, Smoke then turns to Megumi. Fushiguro, get out of here. As this happens, he releases a ton of smoke, tons of it, sending it flying, completely covering everything. You not even be able to see your own hand when you raise it up to your face, not even be able to see anything. Smoke then using Maximum Technique, Armageddon, as all the smoke around the curse ignites, exploding as everything on top of that roof ignites in flames, completely incinerating the curse before it can completely turn into a special grade, with Smoke just being there, kinda hurt. With this happening, Smoke then walks over and grabs the finger, him walking out of the smoke holding the finger in front of him, seeing that Gojo is in front of Megumi, with Gojo putting his Limitless in front to defend the attack. After this, Gojo compliments them, explaining that they did a good job, especially since that curse became a special grade. Technically, he defeated a special grade even though it wasn't fully manifested and fully evolved or developed into a fully turned special grade. So it was more like a semi-special grade. But anyway, good job nonetheless. Smoke just putting a thumbs up as they both walk, or that all three of them walk away, arriving to the station as they see someone in front of them. Megumi and Smoke being royally pissed, seeing Yuji sitting there at a bench eating Kikufuku. What the hell are you doing here? What do you mean? I was just... Oh damn, you guys look kinda messed up. Oh, what happened? You guys run into a special grade or something? Both of them just looking at him with demon just red in their eyes. Both of them having like no pupils or irises or anything, just having rage infused eyes, just staring at Yuji. Yuji realizing that something happened and he wasn't there, so he's kind of disappointed with them harassing him relentlessly. Yuji's just explaining that, well, he had faith in their abilities, and if they really sucked that badly that they couldn't even just save Sukuna's finger or grab Sukuna's finger and leave, then They're pretty dog. And that is the end of the first part of What If Yuji Itadori was Sub-Zero. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that jazz. Remember all the comments and everything like that. Well, or all the links and everything down in the description. And yeah, everything that you want to do, if you want to leave a comment or hit the notification tab, that'll be pretty cool as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So just remember, God is awesome, you guys are too. It's been your boy Xplic, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.